welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica Gilliam and today we are sitting in my new studio. I cannot believe it. I have my own office, my own studio. If you follow my Insta stories at all, I've been talking a lot about this because I've been really excited. And this is the first office that I've ever had that closed doors. So welcome to my new studio. I want to do this month a little bit differently. This month I'm going to sit here. I've already finished it at this point, and I want to kind of talk about what I did, but also my inspirations behind it while showing you me painting it. So hopefully this will be a little bit different, a little bit more interesting. I don't know. I am in love with my setup for February. So I cannot wait to show you guys more, specifically the second spread. So let's just get right into it and let's start. Started my February one, I knew that I wanted it to go well with my theme for January. January was very blue and indigo, and this indigo gold combination. I love indigo and I love gold. So January really had that wintry feel to it. And originally I thought maybe I would go into February and do something like trees with snow on them, or kind of stick with the snow thing because it's not really spring yet. It's very winter still. But I guess I had a different thing in mind because when I sat down to sketch all of these, I just started sketching flowers. So it's like full-blown spring in here, springs, pinks, but it still goes really well with my previous one that has a lot of the moons and the gold and things like that. So on this first spread, I really loved this bouquet kind of feel. I am obsessed with flowers, dried flowers, wildflowers, plants, anything that is living and grows out of the ground, I love. And so I felt like that was something I was really connecting to when I was coming up with ideas. As I went through it, I think one of the things that's really interesting is it's really common for me while I'm working on a painting to feel really insecure about that until I'm done. Like when I put those finishing touches on, it's like all of a sudden it's complete and ready and good. But before that, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. This is gonna be awful. What do I even think is happening here? Like, oh, these colors, I can't combine colors, like whatever. I feel so insecure. And this bouquet was really one of those things, but as I continued to work it and as I continued to add details and things like that, it really started to come together. And when I was adding those final gold details, it was like, oh, yes, this is gonna be good. One thing that I did learn from my previous month is to pre-sketch everything. And honestly, this saved me so much time. Last month's spreads, while there were a couple extra pages, I did a few less pages this time, but it took me 3 days last month. This month I started last night and I finished it about 3 p.m. today. So I think total it was maybe 7 or 8 hours of painting. But that's way better than the like 20 something hours that I spent on last month's. So pre-sketching them made a huge difference in spending less time just scrolling on Pinterest trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing next. Moving on to the next page, this is amazing. This one, I am obsessed. I am in love with this page. So I have had this idea for probably a year, maybe more. I never did anything with it, and it's just kind of been this idea of something I wanted. So when I started working on this piece, I knew that I didn't want to directly track my period in my bullet journal. I actually use an app for that, and I find that really easy and natural for me, and so I didn't necessarily need the actual tracker. But I've been really interested over the last 6 to 9 months in learning more about my menstrual cycle and using it to my benefit. Really kind of knowing my highs and lows throughout the month, and instead of always expecting high productivity for myself, I know when I'm going to be highly productive based on where I am at in my cycle. And so I really take advantage of those days, and when I am on my lower energy days, I give myself more grace. I take some days off. I'm really flexible with that. Now, I work for myself, so I have the luxury of taking days off when I need them. But I've really wanted to schedule my life around my natural cycles. Instead of hating my menstrual cycle when it comes, instead I welcome it. And I use it as a time to reflect. When I knew I wanted to create this piece, I wanted to kind of go into each phase of the menstrual cycle. So we've got the menstrual phase, the follicular phase, the ovulatory phase, and the luteal phase. And a lot of them will say, day 1 to 6, day 7 to whatever, but not every cycle is the same, so I didn't include any days to this. But what I did do is I connected it to moon phases. It isn't always connected to the moon. Mine will kind of range. Sometimes it's with the full moon, and sometimes it kind of moves closer to the new moon. When it changes, I kind of change how I use that time. But I also connected it to the seasons, winter, spring, summer, and autumn, and kind of this time of renewal and this time of productivity and excitement and focus. And so I am in love with this piece. Literally, my husband came home when I finished, and I was like, oh my gosh, you have to see this. I can't even, I am so excited, and it's killing me not to share this yet. I'm in love with this. I cannot even tell you how much I've connected with this page, and I think I'm just gonna leave it open to this all the time because it's so pretty. Last month, I had my habit tracker, and then a couple pages later, I had my business habit tracker. And what I realized, or what I kind of took from that, is I loved having this habit tracker, and I loved the way that I did my habit tracker last month. However, I did not like having to change the pages. Every time I filled out any of them, I filled out all of them. So it made more sense to have them on the same spread. So on this left side, I have a habit tracker. This is almost identical to what I did last month. As far as the layout, it's exactly the same. And the top even is watercolor, and it says habits in gold. I did it almost exactly the same last month. It just worked so well. On the right side, I have my work habit tracker. This one I went a little bit more creative with. I wanted to bring in this moon kind of feel and this lunar connection that I tend to have with my work. And I didn't want just a whole bunch of calendars written all over. I wanted it to be interesting. So what I have is 29 boxes around the moons that I can fill in. I chose not to put the numbers in them, which I think might get a little confusing. I'm not going to know what day of the month it is, but I'm just going to mark day 1 because I'm pretty sure I did all of this on the 1st of the month. I'll check, but then I can just follow it there. If I have to count, I have to count, but the intention is that I do this almost every single day, so therefore it makes it a little easier. But what I have here is my Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, and painting. And then the center one is just working on my business in general. Any day that I have put time in to working on my business, I'm going to mark it on there. How much time? It doesn't really matter. I just want to mark that I've worked. One thing that I haven't added that I will is A followers tracker, I found it really interesting to be able to know for sure how many followers I started with and how much engagement or interactions I started the month with and ended the month with last month. So I am going to add those. I'm not exactly sure. They might just be written somewhere on the page. The final page that I did for this spread is my affirmations page. Last month, I wrote out my affirmations in my journal. And the funny thing is, I actually said my affirmations almost every day, but I didn't actually use my journal for it most of the time. However, the act of writing them out is part of affirming yourself. And this page is so simple for my spread. I haven't actually written them in there yet. But I just wanted something really simple on the side that stayed in the same theme or style that I was already doing. What I want to do is take my affirmations that I had last month and actually change them to better articulate where I'm at this month. And I've been doing my affirmations almost every single day. And I've kind of figured out as things change, my affirmations will change a little bit too. So I'm really excited. I need to finish updating them for the month of February, and then I'll put them in here.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane, and as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now, there's something in the air, and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond all.
So this was my February 2020 bullet journal setup. Thank you so much for joining me for this. This was really fun, and I actually really like being able to tell a little bit about my motivation behind the spreads themselves. If you did like this video and this is the kind of content that you would love more of, please hit that like button. Not only does it tell YouTube that you like my videos, people like my videos, keep showing them, but it also tells me that. It tells me that this is something people are resonating with or that they're interested in. So thank you so much for joining me today. Join me over on Instagram if you want to see the behind the scenes and first peeks at any of these things as well as other things that I'm creating. And I cannot wait till I see you again. Have a good day.